Hello, and welcome to Hemp Farms of New York. We are New York's premier producer of high-quality CBD products. We are located right here in the heart of the Hudson Valley, just a 60-minute drive from New York City and a 20-minute drive to the Woodbury Premium Shopping Center. Our location allows us to conduct business with all of our constituents throughout New York State and beyond. We offer a wide range of services including tourism, breeding, drying, growing, distribution, white labeling, manufacturing, seed to sale, retail, and extraction. We are located on 38 beautiful acres with a total of 6 indoor greenhouses that span 110,000 square feet. We are currently licensed to grow 650 acres outdoors and 1 million square feet indoors. We are a seed to sale facility, which means that we ensure that our plants are well maintained from the time that our seeds are planted until we extract and bottle our pure golden CBD oil for our clients. Let's take a look at what people are saying about the many benefits of the cannabis plant. Here's a clip from Weed the People.
We went in and they said, this tumor's hit such a growth spurt that we need to make sure that this isn't a high-grade glioma. And I said, well, what if it is? They said, your daughter will not live to see her second birthday.
Thank you for allowing people to open their minds, Lord, to see that this is your gift to us, your gift from heaven, that you have given us this medicine to treat our babies.
When we found out about Sophie's brain tumor, I had no idea this would be the gift from God to her. When your kid's got cancer, the rule book goes out the window, really. You need to get them well, and you need to do everything that you can to make them well, and I wouldn't feel right if I didn't explore everything that there was.
They found over 20 tumors in his chest. At that time, Dr. Storch told us, now is the time to do alternative medicine.
People have been using cannabis as a medicine for 5,000 years. THC has always been kind of the star of the show because it's the most psychoactive. But then research started showing that there were a lot of other cannabinoids in the plant that had as many, if not more, therapeutic effects.
For me, one of the most exciting areas is cannabis an anti-cancer agent? The number of different ways that cannabis and cannabinoids in the test tube seem to suppress cancer is quite impressive. In oncology, we often say the plural of anecdote is not evidence.
Cancer cells plus cannabis together in a petri dish. We know what happens there. There's a lot of studies that show that.
Right.
We do not have human studies, and certainly we don't have studies in pediatrics.
Perfect.
If we want to use marijuana as a medicine, we need to make it a medicine. We haven't done that yet.
My friend dying from pancreatic cancer can't wait for studies.
Yeah.
My child can't.
That's the problem.
The controversy about it kind of makes me mad because it's at the cost of our children. It's at the cost of our loved ones. And a lot of people don't want to try this because of the reputation.
One can argue that there's a human right to have the government provide you with a medicine. But at the very least, there has to be a consensus that the government should never deprive you of access to a medicine which can be helpful.
Why, as a society, are we denying people the use of something that I have seen firsthand over and over and over again be helpful?
You ready to kick cancer in the butt?
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited.
When we first came here, I was kind of clueless. I had no idea what pediatric oncology meant, so that was terrifying. Even though I've done this more than 100 times, I still get a little afraid of the needle.
Hello.
Tired, but good. How are you doing? Thank you. That's good.
We're going to count 1 to 3, right?
Yeah, and then 3 is when you put it in, like always.
1, 2, 3.
AJ's 17 years old now. We first found out that he had cancer. He was 13. He was 13 years old. We found out that it was osteosarcoma cancer, bone cancer. By the time that they caught it, he was already stage 4. I believe it was his second chemo. His lungs collapsed because the cancer had spread to his lungs, also being stage 4. That trip was like 6-8 weeks solid in the hospital, that she lived in the hospital with him. It came back again, and it was basically in his spine. But I think they took out 2, 3, and 4, and then put a steel cage in.
And they removed his ribs.
And then they removed some of his ribs where it was attached to, I think, 1 or 2 on each side?
2 on each side.
2 on each side.
Since my hand has kind of been messed up after one of the surgeries on my back, they had to sever some of the nerves, and those nerves were going to my hand. So my fire button used to be my mouse 1, but I changed it to looking into my dinosaurs inventory instead.
A month and a half after the surgery, he was sick. He didn't feel good. They found over 20 tumors in his chest. It was very bleak at that point, and AJ does not know how bleak it was. We've never told him that. He's a 17-year-old kid. He needs to concentrate on getting better.
Toronto is down for the count. Hey, survival of the fittest.
This is the raw oil form that we get when we buy it.
When we started using it, we had to get a permit, and then we could start actually getting it from the dealer, I guess is the right term, treater. I'm not sure what the correct term is to not make it look bad or sound bad.
Sheila and AJ get out and go upstairs, and I'm driving the truck in Beverly Hills, circling the parking lot, trying to find a place to park. I can't even find a place to park. She gets in her truck, AJ gets in her truck, and she's got this little teeny bag, and I'm like, okay, so what was it? And she's crying, and she's like, I wish you could have been there because of all these questions. And I'm like, okay, so I'm curious, what is this stuff? What is it? What is it, and how much did we spend?
Yeah.
And so she pulls out these 2 little syringes that are like 10 grams or 10 milliliters, like supposedly all the same or something like that. And there's 2 of them. And she goes, this was $1,010 for those 2. And I'm like, it's our son. What do you do?
Hi, Tracy. Hi, so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for coming all this
Oh,
way.
honey, it's my pleasure.
This is Sophie. Hi, Sophie. You just got her up from her nap. Yeah, she's still waking up.
Oh,
She is.
Yeah,
She's always been
she's
that
quite
way.
the special
Really?
little baby. Neither one of us could imagine putting our tiny little baby through chemo. And the day that we decided to not do chemo was the day that I felt like I could breathe again, and I'm sure he would say the same.
Yeah. It's just so counterintuitive
Ugh.
to do it.
We got the scans. So there's optic pathway glioma.
Here's the core of the mass sitting right there on the optic cross.
These are excellent pictures.
Here, and this is only one of, and then here, this one is of her spine. Her spine's totally clear, so it's not metastasized or spread in any way. And then this
That's the most natural, normal place for it to go.
is none of that.
Okay. Let me just mention this. I don't have medical training. I don't claim to have medical training. I just have something that I feel is more important, and that's experience. We're going to have to experiment. There might be times when, as we're figuring out what her dose is, we might go, oh, okay, that's too much. It can't hurt her. If it is too much, all it's going to take is the hours of it getting out of her system.
And that's what we love so much about this, is that she's not going to be suffering. She's not going to be in pain. We don't have to watch her deteriorate. She's perfect, health-wise.
Yeah.
She's had 1 cold in 9 months, and that's good.
Except for that damn cancer.
Except for that huge mass in her brain.
Yeah.
That's the
Except for that
only
mass.
thing. Yeah. So literally 1,000 stars had to align for us to finally change our mind on cannabis. That was the only thing that we just completely dismissed and refused to research because we just thought it was so ridiculous.
We looked at everything else but that.
And it was all from Facebook. One of those mommies said, look, there's a lot of legitimate science going on around it. So we started really looking at this positive research on cannabis. And I said, honey, This could be it. So how do we?
Just for the first time, I'll just go ahead and do it, okay?
Okay, sure.
Now, I'm giving her a tiny, tiny amount this first time, okay?
Okay.
So she's never been exposed to this. And then you draw back on this so it doesn't keep pouring out.
Okay.
Okay?
Here, let Mama. Oh, here we go. I got it. Good job, honey. Will she feel any of the THC, or is that CBD going to count
until she? Everybody's different.
Yeah.
If she has her breakfast at 10:30, then you're not going to be giving her this until probably 11:30
Right.
or so, and then we don't have time to get 3 doses in.
Okay.
So let's start out at 2 doses and see how she does.
Well, we can wake her up earlier.
I know, but let's do as little to disrupt your day.
Okay.
2 is going to be fine. It's not going to be the day. I know how I've come to learn over the years that we're not that powerful. We can do the best we can. We can, whatever, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We're just not that powerful.
We just want to do what's best.
I know, and I understand that. And you're a wonderful, wonderful mother, and you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
So for now, let's just start with 2 a day.
Okay.
Well, we're awfully happy to be able to help and be part of
we're
her
happy
journey.
to have you. We really, truly are. I cannot tell you how much this means to us.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's put her to sleep.
You want to go wake up?
You'll go night-night, Belle?
Good night, night.
Go night-night? Mommy get you some milk ready.
Sophie, we're going to get you better.
It's a little bit past my head.
There we go. All right.
Yes.
See, nap time. I'll see you in an hour.
This is her cannabis oil regimen that we have right now. CT stands for the canatonic. We give her the size of about a half a grain of rice 2 times a day. So this is what Sophie looks like when she starts to feel the effects of her medicine. She's not moving around as much, and she's a little sleepy face, but this is it. It is day 8 since we first started giving her the cannabis oil. She, as of today, is starting to get 2 different oils. So considering that a little bit of sleepiness is all we're seeing as a side effect, I'd say this has definitely been a much better alternative to chemo thus far. All right, let's see if we can get her to take it. Come on, honey. Good girl. There you go. We just put a little drop on her pacifier. Tiny, tiny little drop. So we're going to give that to her while she's sleeping. So we had to up Sophie's medicine. She's in a very good mood. Aren't you, honey? Are you happy right now? She is playful and laughing and smiling. Yeah, I'm just glad you guys are supporting us, holding off on the chemo.
We recognize with this diagnosis, there is some room here in terms of exploring complementary therapies, but in general, we have a historical standard of care that we have. As long as we keep that in mind,
Absolutely.
moving forward for sure, we definitely can intervene at any time, and she already has the important device in place.
They all know what our treatment plan is. They all know we're using the oils. They've had nothing negative to say. They haven't thought in any way, shape, or form we're being bad parents or doing anything that is harmful to our child in any way, which is fantastic because we wouldn't do it if our doctors didn't support us. He did bring up, the chemo word, which, I even hate talking about it. We still believe in our hearts that this is going to work. I mean, she's thriving right now. Her eye's getting better, and I don't know if it means anything, and Dr. Chang couldn't tell us if it means anything because you don't know until you actually do the MRI scan. If I looked at it from a logical standpoint, as the tumor gets smaller and releases pressure, the eye shakes less. That to me is logical thinking. So I'm going to go with logic and say that the tumor's already getting smaller. That's what I'm going to go with.
Oh, good job, honey. You okay, Pumpkin Pie?
We went in and they said, his tumors hit such a growth spurt that we need to do a biopsy. And we need to make sure that this isn't a high-grade glioma. So then we had to schedule brain surgery. And luckily, all the tissue samples came back low grade. He hasn't had the best day today. We're going to have to do some IV fluids tonight. He's not drinking a whole lot, which is all part of the chemo. We're on day 5. It's kind of weird that it's so delayed, but she's not been doing too bad overall. Hey, baby, open.
Big bite. Yay, good girl. There she goes. You ready for some amazing results? This will be the second scan since we started chemo and have been in high doses of cannabis. See, and now we just wait. We wait for the good news, don't we, baby? Just from them putting a tube down her throat. We just got the call. There is some cell death. The tumor is actually dying in certain areas. There's no new growth, and it's. They said that they would like to be able to take credit for it all, but they just don't know if they can. I'm just thrilled. This is the most amazing news we could have ever gotten. She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. Oh my God.
I mean, we still have a battle ahead of us. We're still going to have to do chemo, but I can actually see the future. I can see walking little Sophie down the aisle and taking her to first dance recital and all those things that you want to do. It's a good feeling.
Kiss? Thank you. You're so sweet. So sweet.
Now the nerves really start kicking in. Scanxiety. Because we got to do this every 3 months, and this is going to be our life for a while.
Hi, Betty. My name is Tracy Ryan. My daughter Sophie had an MRI scan today. Would I be able to put in a request with you to pick up a disc the second it's available?
Yeah, it's been finalized.
Oh, it has been?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you wanted to get a disc, a CD of it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to go get them. I always tell my husband that it could always be worse, and we see worse every single day of our lives. Everybody keeps saying God only gives you what you can handle, but I think that we get things that we can't handle sometimes. I feel like it's my responsibility and my duty to the world and to God and to my child to pass on this information and to help people. So I created a group called Canna Kids along with some other mommies that had sick kids. It's an amazing, amazing group full of wonderful women and men and experts and doctors and scientists, and it's just really wonderful. Hi, Lou. It shrunk. Let me get the paper. Lulu, it is half the size. It went from 2.6 to 1.7. It is half the size. The cystic component now measures 1.4 centimeters versus 2.8 centimeters on 923. It is also half the size. Lulu, these tumors don't shrink with chemo. These tumors don't shrink with chemo.
Oh, my God.
Hand on a Bible. My doctor said, if you can get this tumor to half the size, there's no way we can claim that it was the chemo. That's the only way. It has to get to half the size. Oh, here we go. Look at these huge black holes. That's the cell death. There's like nothing over here anymore. Like there used to be all kinds of tumor over here. This has always been the heavier side. This is, oh my God, that's the cyst. That's where the cyst used to be. Almost gone. I mean, it's just beautiful. I never thought I'd be saying that about a tumor. I feel very, very, very full. It's working. Hi. We're here to see. Yes, ma'am.
Hi,
Say hi. Sophie, did the sleepy medicine get you already, my Buffy? Then my cannabis doesn't even do this to me. This is Tracy.
Tracy, Dr. J. Thankfully, Sophie continues to make progress, okay? So
At 1 year of age, chemotherapy with carboplatin, and Kristen was started period, it's clear the tumor has shrunk enormously on the chemotherapy.
We're doing a lot of holistic approaches along with her chemo treatment. Have you ever seen this much shrinkage before?
I would agree that you wouldn't expect to see that much shrinkage of a tumor from chemotherapy. I'm not sure it's the chemotherapy.
Well, we don't think it's the chemotherapy.
It might be. It might not be. I have no idea.
Right. Honey, it's almost gone. I'm looking at all kinds of angles. It's almost gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Sophie, do you want to get up? Your chemo's done, honey. Your chemo's done, honey.
Hi, sweetie.
You're done. Sophie,
So
around 3 months into doing this, Dr. Storch looks at us and said, he looks like he's getting better. And I said, well, he is. Another month went by, and reluctantly, I agreed to let the scans take place. She looks at us and says, I don't know how to tell you this. I can't explain it, but his scan is clear. There is no more tumors in his chest. 4 months, 20 tumors, gone. It's clear. We do the next scan, clear. The next scan, clear. The next scan, clear. She goes, there's no cancer in him right now. He's clear.
April's our magic month. That I call it the magic month because that's when we're going to stop chemo totally and then just try to see if it is the cannabis. We're going to find out right there. I find out a child has cancer or something. I go straight to the parent and I give them Dr. Goldstein's number and I say, you have to try. You have to.
Put your kid on oil.
I do.
100%. She just goes. I will look at the people and people that ask me about aging, ask me about the cannabis oil, and I will tell them, I honestly don't know if this will work for you. But what I'm going to tell you is what it did for my son.
Now that we see what doctors from all over the world are saying about the medical benefits of the cannabis plant, you may be wondering about additional therapeutic benefits. CBD oil has been used to treat glaucoma, decrease inflammation with irritable bowel syndrome, fighting cancer, protecting neurons in the brain, preventing bladder dysfunction, easing nausea and vomiting, increasing one's appetite, controlling diarrhea, aiding in sleep, treating post-traumatic stress disorder, reducing convulsions, stimulating bone cell growth, regulating blood sugar levels, and inhibiting acne, just to name a few. So let's talk about CBD. We've all heard about it because it's everywhere right now. From gas stations to smoke shops and online stores, CBD is one of the most popular products on the market right now. You may be asking a bunch of questions like, what is CBD? Where does CBD come from? Is it legal? What are the benefits? There are lots of questions to answer, so let's start at the beginning. First things first, what is CBD? CBD is actually short for cannabidiol, the natural chemical compound found in the cannabis plant. Yes, I know, we just said cannabis, but no need to be startled. We're not talking about the THC potent marijuana. We're talking about CBD potent hemp. Hemp is the term to describe cannabis that contains less than 0.3% of THC. It is completely non-psychoactive, and under the Farm Bill, hemp plants are completely legal throughout the United States. So, for starters, CBD is not marijuana. It is found inside marijuana. Might sound complicated, but basically CBD is just one compound found inside the marijuana plant, and there are many others. Contrary to popular belief, it is not actually marijuana, but it is a cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant itself. But what are cannabinoids? What are those? Cannabinoids are chemical compounds secreted by the cannabis plant. There are over 100 known cannabinoids, the two most popular being THC and CBD. And what about the rest of them? Maybe we'll save that for another time, but THC versus CBD, what's the difference? Well, both of these are completely separate cannabinoids found in the cannabis plant. While THC is a popular substance known for its psychoactive effects, CBD is less talked about substance that, while carrying no psychoactive effects, provides many users with an abundance of benefits. No need to worry. It's impossible to get high consuming CBD high hemp with small traces of THC. Now we're going to take a look into the entourage effect. The entourage effect is when natural chemical compounds from the cannabis plant interact with each other to create a benefit for the human body that is greater than the sum of their individual effects. Let's say you have back pain. Taking CBD by itself takes away 25% of your pain. Taking THC by itself also takes away 25% of your pain. When you take THC and CBD together, it takes away a total of 75% of your pain. Here we have our product line of premium CBD products. We offer a wide selection of full-spectrum CBD tinctures, soft gels, our CBD fruit punch gummy, healing cream, RX pain cream, and full-spectrum CBD pen tinctures. All of our products are made with hemp from our facility and are tested by a third party. Whenever you purchase CBD products, you should always do your own due diligence to avoid fake or low-quality products and to prove that the manufacturer's products have as much CBD as advertised. That means always checking the certificate of analysis. The certificate of analysis, or COA, is a document from an accredited laboratory that shows the quality of various cannabinoids in a product. If a manufacturer cannot provide one, then we advise caution. The certificate of analysis for all of our products can be found on our website at hempfarmsofnewyork.com.